Welcome back to Iron Rage, the show where John Romano, Lee Priest, and I vent our frustrations with the world. The boys are all back in town today. We got the full crew, John and Lee. Today's topic is, when is it time to quit? John, you and I were talking, and Lee, before the show, and you mentioned the announcement that Juliana Malacarne made about her not defending her Women's Physique Olympia title this year. After 4 years of winning it, she's decided to call it quits, and people are giving her flack for it. Is it a good decision, bad decision? What's your opinion?
It's a great decision, and you know, and it's a smart decision, and I'll tell you why. In the Art of War, Sun Tzu says, never fight a battle you cannot win. And that's the whole thing right there. She's looking, but Juliana's looking at Shanika and the other, you know, competition up there, looking at like her 10-inch waist and realizing, holy shit, this girl's from Mars. I can't beat her. And I've had a good run. I've done exceptionally well for myself during my competitive career. Why not leave with just all wins under my belt and, you know, go out a champion and not fight the battle you can't win? She's smart. She knows she can't beat Shanika. Period. End of story. That's reality. So say what you will about that, but that's reality. So she knows that, and she's going out on top. There's absolutely everything right about that, and anybody that's given her grief about it, I think you're an idiot.
Lee, what do you think about that? Is it right? Did she make the right decision? And we don't even know if that's the reason she left, or should, as a great champion, she try to go and battle the best of the best?
Well, she has battled the best of the best when she was on stage. Just because, you know, someone else is coming along that looks great who she might not beat, we'll never know. But it's like I said, it's a no-win situation. If you keep going and you win, you win. If you get beat, then people say you should have retired, or then you can win 5 times, you get beat once, people call you a loser. So that's pretty much the internet trolls that are just going to talk shit who have never been on stage. And I'm pretty impressed that John's quoting The Art of War and stuff. Let me quote someone, Dr. Seuss. Green eggs and ham I am, Sam I am. Yeah, so if she doesn't like green eggs and ham, she can quit and not eat it. It's pretty much the same thing as John said. So just move on and have poached eggs.
Oksana Grishina, she stepped down last year, her last win at the Fitness Olympia, so there'll be a new champion crowned this year as well. You know, Oksana's been so dominant that no one seems to be able to beat her. She stepped down. I don't know what her reasonings were, but I think she felt she had nothing left to prove, because she could have kept winning, John.
Yeah, I mean, to some people, I mean, that's enough already. I mean, how many times do you have to win doing the same thing for you to get it? Okay, Oksana, she's the best, period. Okay, we got it. How many more times do you have to prove it?
Exactly.
And if she's tired and wants to do something else, I mean, there's nothing in it for her. What is there in it for women's fitness? Nothing. It's its tiniest, smallest class there is. No one gets it. These girls have nowhere to go.
Right, but there is an entertainment factor, John. And she was making money winning the Olympia. I mean, it might not have been a ton of money, but she was making money.
Yeah, but she's not making. I mean, who's hiring her? I mean, like, there's not a big market for the fitness competitors. There're just too few of them. I mean, they're great. What they do is amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, but you know, and Oksana has the most incredible routines and so you know, artistically put together and choreographed, and they're just beautiful. And she's by far the best. I don't think anybody's going to come along for a long time to rival her.
Right.
So what do you got left to prove? If she could probably make a really good living doing something like on Broadway or something more, you know, mainstream, Cirque du Soleil or some shit like that. You know, there's way more for her than there ever will be in women's fitness.
Lee,
well, the thing is, the men too. I think the men, they have to look at their side, where some of the stuff that we know men do, you got to come down to your health and that too, because it's like John said, you're going to get bored after a while, and going after that same title, there's only a few guys who can have that drive to keep going and push themselves. And then the health aspect too of pushing your body year after year after year, doing what you have to do to be that champion, is it really worth it? You know, sure, the men make a bit more money with endorsements and get into travel, but if you won Olympia once or twice with the right marketing, you can, live off that for the rest of your life, promoting yourself as Mr. Olympia and stuff, whether you have 6, 7, 8 or 9. It's like even Phil, he might be the one to get 10, but really, in the scheme of things, 10 times Mr. Olympia outside of bodybuilding, who really knows who you are? That's the thing. It's like you could be the home run winner in baseball and everyone's going to know your name and history for the rest of your life.
Right.
10-time Mr. Olympia putting your body through hell. Nobody knows, so,
Leash, do you think that Ronnie should have quit after winning 8, knowing that he had that injury to his back, and he kind of pushed it another year, and then he actually tried to come back a year after that and win back the title, and that obviously wasn't successful?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, Ronnie loves training. He's like, he's one of those guys that loves doing it, but there comes a time where, okay, you can, quit the competing side, but you can still train, you can still travel, do seminars, see the fans and stuff like that, but pushing yourself in contest training is a total another level. I think the same with Dorian, would he have torn that bicep and done whatever and come back looking like he did in that last Mr. Olympia? Because look how great he looked. But then a lot of the times when people talk about Dorian, they always talk about his last Olympia, the bloated gut, the torn bicep. They forget how great a champion he was before that. Same with Samir Banu. Look at him when he won the Mr. Olympia. Shredded to the bone in 83. He tried to make a few comebacks and didn't look as good. And now people remember Samir as losing the Olympia and looking bad, not looking how he did when he won it. So you got to know when to step away, or if, like me, get suspended and you got no choice, you can't come back.
John, is it hard as a champion to say, you know what, I'm done and walk away? I think it seems like a lot of these guys have to just lose. I mean, Dorian snuck out that last Olympia in '97, but then he quit. He couldn't come back. He was thinking about it. He was trying, and he just felt that he wouldn't be the best he could be. And certainly in '98, he would have gotten slaughtered probably, unless, with the injuries he had and stuff,
Smart decision. There were dynamic changes once Dorian stepped down, and the battle was between Flex and Ronnie. But there's a point where you just got to say, okay. I mean, and it depends on what level you're at too. I mean, I hear guys saying, well, I was Mr. Midwestern Gold County Classic champion 17 years in a row. Who gives a fuck? I mean, that was obviously a really easy show if you were the champion 17 years in a row and never won anything. So, you found your niche. But I mean, that kind of stuff aside, I mean, there's a level that you should feel confident going out at. And it's not only bodybuilding. I mean, look at Formula One, Michael Schumacher. He won out world champion. There's nothing, and he almost killed himself skiing. So, I mean, you never know. So I think you have the right as a champion to determine how you want to leave your sport. If you are the champion, if you're Mr. Olympia, Mr. World Champion, Mr. whatever, at the top of the top of the top, it is your right as that champion to be able to say, okay, this is when I'm leaving. This is how I'm leaving. These are my terms, and I'm leaving under my terms because I'm the best and I get to make the terms. Right. So that is completely within the realm of what is appropriate as far as, champions from bodybuilding through Formula One racing, motorcycles, baseball, boxing, whatever. It's all the same.
Right. Lee, you essentially...
The thing is like John with Schumacher, and as I used to watch the Formula One when he was always winning, and he'd have that championship wrapped up with 5 races to go sometimes. But even when he retired, though, people gave him respect. He went out on top. Everyone respected him. It just seems bodybuilding has the worst fucking internet trolls in all the history of sport. I know other sports have their people that put them down, NFL and all that sort of stuff, but for some reason the keyboard warriors in bodybuilding seem to outnumber any other fucking thing out there. So it's like I said, well, if you go to quit in this sport, it doesn't matter. You go out a champion, they're going to bag you. You keep competing, you get beat, they're going to bag you. So like I said, you got to do what's best for you, do what's best for your family if you have a family and stuff, and who cares what these people say, because like I said, half the ones saying it have never even stepped on stage, never even stepped into a contest to watch it. They just sit on their little keyboards and type away. So you got to do what's best for you.
Now, Lee, you kind of left the sport on top. You won the Ironman in the IFBB, then you left, and you left organizations. You won a couple titles in another organization, you left, and then you did another organization, you won a title. So technically, you've always left when you're on top. You've never lost in the last, I don't know how many years it's been. Was that Was that orchestrated on purpose, or was that just by accident?
No, I'm smart. It's like you go out on top, like John says. It's like even after I came back after that 7-year layoff, I won the universe. People are like, Lee, you going back for the universe again next year? I said, fuck no. I might go and do the Mr. World NABBA or something like that, win something different. But if you win the universe, you leave it, you go back. Because like I said, if you win the universe, if I had gone back and got second, Lee didn't win the universe. Oh, you remember he got second? They always remember your last friggin' show. So just keep winning them. If you win it once, move on. Keep moving on. So, the one guy out there who looks great, it still keeps going, is Dexter. And he's won the Olympia, but he keeps going back. He's consistent. So there are some people out there who do have that willpower and the mental power to keep on going and still looking good. But like I said, I sort of went out on top. And like I said, I was not winning some of the big pro shows in the IFBB. I won a few, like the San Francisco, the Ironman, and all that sort of stuff. But, I was 16 years just competing in the pro shows in the Olympia. And, like I said, it wasn't a feud to the IFBB. It was just that after 16 years, I'd had enough of competing with the same guys on stage, seeing the same faces, the same judges, that when Wayne did start his new thing, I'm like, well, that'd be different. That sort of relights my fire. I can go back, compete against different guys, different judging type things. So it was something new. And then when I sort of was suspended, I just took those years off and thought, well, let me try NABBA now. NABBA's got a whole lot of different guys from Europe and all that sort of stuff. I'll give that a go. So it's just, like I said, something different to do, something to give me more excitement, because doing the same thing year after year after year, it just gets a bit monotonous sometimes. And you're like, oh, I've got to go through this again. And that's, I just needed a break. And I did. And like you said, go out on top.
I want to bring up a topic. I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to give any credibility or any. I wanted the energy to just die at this whole thing. But it was kind of annoying me. I've been having this back and forth with Nick Trigili, and he's trying to badmouth me now because he's mad that I badmouthed some product that he was selling that was kind of like a snake oil product. So he's trying to say that I'm not a good coach and that I use cookie cutter diets and templates and I give everyone the same diet. And I've done rants about the fact that look, there's only so many diets you can give out to people. Once you have an established diet that works, you give it out and then you tweak it and change it according to the people you work with. I mean, that's just obvious. There's a lot. But I actually had a guy who texted me today. He was a former client of mine who was complaining that he wanted he was implying, he didn't ask for it, he was implying that he wanted his money back because he felt that I was giving, he's obviously a Nick Trigili disciple now, that I gave him I didn't give him a customized diet. And that, what else did he say? I didn't give him a customized diet, and that I had a team of my people working and doing his updates, which obviously you guys know is not true. I do all the updates myself. And so I went back and I started getting I said, well, I wonder if this guy had bad results with me. So I went back and I looked at my text message train and I saw that he won his show when I helped him. And he was complimenting me about how great he looked and how happy he was. So I said to him, isn't the job of a coach to help you win your shows? And why would you be unhappy? You said to me you were super happy with the way the prep worked out. He goes, I was happy. He's like, but you didn't give me a custom diet. Nick Trigili's custom. I mean, what's happening to society? What's wrong with people? John, please tell me. Am I nuts or what? Am I doing something wrong here?
If you want something custom, tell him to go on Pimp My Fucking Ride. But the thing is, you give someone a diet, everyone does. If you've got a new client to begin with, you don't know what their body's like, so you're pretty much going to give them a standard diet with proteins and carbs and fats and all this. Have them on it for a few weeks, see how they respond, and then, like you said, then you start tweaking it, taking foods out, putting foods in. You make it suit their body, but generally to start them off, it's generally all around the same type of diet, because you can't just customize it from the word go, for fuck's sake. So maybe because he hasn't got his pro card, he's upset because he should have been a pro. I don't know why he's blaming you. The guy should look in the mirror and blame his fucking...
He won his show. He won the show, Lee.
Genetics. So he hasn't got a pro card, has he? So he's blaming you for he hasn't got a pro card. It's your fault. It's not Mr. Olympia. He needs to blame his parents. Should have been spat on the floor to come.
So if you wanted to give him 5 ounces of chicken, you have to give 5.2 ounces. So his is 0.2 ounces different than the one you made the next guy.
Right, with 16 Ps as opposed to 18 Ps they give the next guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
14 cashew nuts.
You get 14 almonds, you get 15 almonds, you get 16. That's all custom.
Well,
it's all different customs. You get 16 almonds. No two people get 16.
I'm going to give him escarole and him broccoli and this guy cauliflower, so to make sure no one has the same vegetables too.
Well, going back a few years, I had Neil Hill just wrote me up a diet to have a look at, and in my diet it had in the morning have my oatmeal with 14 blueberries and stuff. I said 14. I said, you sure I can't have fucking 16 blueberries or 17? Would that like blow the whole thing? And when I told Flex Lewis about it, he's like, what? He gives you fucking blueberries? I can't have blueberries. I said, yes, I get 14 blueberries. Like, I'm going to tell Neil Hill, why can't I have blueberries? So I did have a customized diet. See, I got blueberries. Flex Lewis didn't get blueberries.
And what if the blueberries are a little bigger than some of the other blueberries? You know, they're not all standard blueberries.
So what do I do there? If I have the bigger blueberries, do I only have 8 and not the 14 if they're medium size? It's so fucking confusing. It's like, no wonder I fucking quit the sport. It's just too much for my brain.
John, I'll give you red ruby oranges, and I'll give Lee Valencia oranges.
Right, that's custom.
Yes, custom.
Very custom. That's what you ought to do now. People are complaining about that. It's like 2 people, you know, because they're jumping on this bandwagon. But you know, when I see ridiculousness in our industry, doesn't it just irk you? I mean, we've been in this business a long time. When I see people doing petty stuff like that and trying to pretend that there's something special about what they're doing, that's the people you want to run away from, because those people are trying to sell you something. They're not selling you the truth. They're selling you their reality of the truth. What'd you say, Lee?
Grinds my gears and gets my goat, Dave Palumbo. It really does. And actually, that name you said, Nick Trigilli, that's like bringing up fucking Tutankhamun's name. Haven't fucking heard of Nick Trigilli for a long time. Had to blow the dust off that one. Shit. I remember, wasn't he like some young champion back when fucking Adam and Eve were around eating the apple from the tree? It's been a while since I've heard of that name, Nick.
The funny thing is, I have no problem with him. But he took it personally when I put down his product that he was selling.
You do now, so I have a problem.
Well, yeah, now because he's trying to hurt my business, so yeah.
No, but
you're actually giving him publicity now.
Yeah.
Don't these people realize that they're not paying for the diet; they're paying for the coaching?
No, they don't understand that, John. Most people do, but these people don't, because that's what I explained. I said the bottom line is you won the show. That's my job as a coach.
Right. The diet's online for free.
Yes.
You don't need
Thank you.
You need somebody to coach you to use the diet.
Exactly.
Advantage is
custom.
14 almonds, that'll solve the problem right there. Don't ever give 2 people 14 almonds.
I'm going to put a custom diet online. I'm going to go to the supermarket and I'm going to find the most exotic vegetables and certain, you know, Indian grains of rice with certain Ayurvedic spices, and I'm gonna design 4,000 diets with different variations in each one.
Right.
And I will cherry pick the diet for each particular person.
Count the rice.
Yes.
Count the rice.
You need 50. The best anabolic is best anabolic out there. I'm going to give a secret now. 10 legume beans. 50 grains of white rice mixed with 47 grains of brown rice, 1 bell pepper, and a bit of capsicum, all mixed in with 6 ounces of lean steak. And in that steak, I want 2 ounces of lean beef, 1 ounce of lamb, and 2 ounces of a little bit of pork. Now, that will not... this is a custom diet for the American Christians.
And sheep's testicle. Let's throw some sheep's testicle in there, Lee.
Cut the pork out if you're Muslim. But then other people who are on vegetarians, they can have like that stuff, corn or whatever, and tofu. Mix it with tofu.
And add some goat scrotum in there because I hear it's good for testosterone levels. Yeah, raises testosterone.
Bull's balls. Now there's somebody, if you want custom diets, contact Steve. He's got some of the most far out eating plans I've ever fucking heard. If that thing's not custom, I don't know what is. I think he got his fucking diet plans from fucking ET.
I told Lee, dry and hard.
I keep telling these guys. I keep telling them, dry and hard. I keep telling them.
Yeah, but that wasn't about contest stuff. That's how he liked it, fucking bent over. Dry and hard. Fucking drive it to me. I used to say, Steve, that's not right here. Let me help. Spit on it a bit. Spit on it. I don't like dry and hard. Takes the skin off, Steve. I can't do that anymore. Sticks to my posing trunks when it's healing. oh, God.
And on that note, I'm Dave Palumbo for John Romano and Lee Priest with another episode of Iron Rage.
Where does he come out with this shit? I don't know.
You can't beat that.